Hi, and welcome to this third week of our heart opening practices that we're working with through the month of February, as well as some self inquiry and looking for our Dharma, delving into Dharma and what all that entails. So, our first week, our peak pose was Wild Thing, and we were looking at life lessons and lessons we've learned and lessons we're still in the midst of learning as part of our karma. And then our second week, we were working with bow pose and with an option for upward bow. And we were looking in our self-inquiry at our samskaras. And so that is those impressions that have been with us from for whatever reason, through cultural or environment, that we've been taught to believe certain things that maybe aren't actually true, and how that affects how we react in our day-to-day life in certain situations. So now that we've worked through that, this week we're going to be working with getting our ego out of the way and centering our thoughts, opening and lighting up the heart, and then looking at some of the best aspects of ourselves at the end of practice. So a couple things before we actually start our physical practice. Have a block or two handy. They're always nice to have for every practice. And today, also a strap. We used a strap last week. We're going to utilize a strap again this week, but we're going to have a bigger loop on it. And I'll explain that part when we get to there. But have a strap or a belt handy that you can make bigger than your waist. And also a blanket. We're going to start with a heart opening passive pose of supported fish at the beginning of our class as well. So have that blanket that you can roll up to place under your spine as you lie back as well. So without further ado, I think that's all that we need. Let's get started with our practice. We're going to start with some Kapalabhati to clear out the old, and then some mind centering, and then move into our supported Shavasana or supported baby fish pose. Okay, so find a comfortable seat on your cushion, on your block, whatever it is you need. We'll start with Kapalabhati. Started in a seated position with a tall spine. Begin to connect with deep belly breath. Taking your middle finger of your right hand, place it on your heart center and begin to connect with that essence within you, the soul, your inner knowing at your heart center. As you continue with your belly breath, tuning in, centering. And then inhale to reach up to the sky as we prepare for Kapalabhati, bringing your hands parallel to the floor, thumbs up, or hands to your thighs. Take a deep inhale, and then begin with your Kapalabhati at your pace, drawing the low belly in to force the exhale out and allowing the inhale to happen on its own. Continue with your pace, clearing out the old, making space for new breath, new thoughts, new movement. Keep going if you can. And then inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale everything out, hands back parallel to the floor or to your thighs. Retain the bottom of the exhale and draw the belly in and up as you slightly lower the chin and draw the back of the skull back. Continue. And then inhale, release the belly, reach up. Exhale, draw the arms back down. Take one more inhale. Now we retain the top of the inhale with a slight drop to the chin as we draw the back of the skull back. and feel that essence in the heart center as we retain that inhale a little longer if you're able, and then gently release, exhale everything out. Take a moment to feel that presence in the heart center as you reconnect with your belly breath. And then bring the middle finger of your right hand back to the center of the chest and reestablish that connection of mind to heart center. And now release your hands, bring the sides of your fingers all together and place the hands at the side of your head without touching your head. Begin to calm the thoughts of the mind, begin to center. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, very slowly begin to draw the hands toward one another in front of your forehead. And we draw our thoughts to center, to focus. Take one more inhale, and then on your exhale, slowly draw to your heart center, now focusing the connection between mind and heart. We're going to do that 2 more times. So on your inhale, bring the palms to the outside of the head, fingers pointing up. And now as you slowly exhale, begin drawing the hands toward center as we center our thoughts, center the mind, focus. And then on your next exhale, slowly draw focus to the heart center as hands pause in front of the heart. Do this one last time. Inhaling with hands at the side of the head, and then when you're ready to exhale, slowly draw the energy of the thoughts to center and focus on that center as your palms lightly touch. Take an inhale here and slowly exhale, bringing that focus to the heart center. Drop your chin slightly. Pause here. Now with that centering presence, release your hands. And we're going to make our way onto our mat with your blanket. So taking your folded blanket and rolling it up like our little burrito like we did last week. Lying it lengthwise on your mat so that the blanket will come to the center of your spine as you lie back on it. So you have some options for your arms. Your knees can be bent, arms can be straight out parallel to your shoulders. You might straighten your legs if that feels comfortable for you. Or you might bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet together in Supta Baddha Konasana. And then you can keep your arms where they are. Or you might experiment with reaching the arms overhead towards the wall behind you. Just paying attention to any sensations in your shoulders and neck. And then you might also experiment with bending the elbows and grasping opposite elbows with your forearms resting on the floor above your head. So take the position, arm position, what's most suited to what's happening in your body, particularly the shoulders and neck this morning. I'm taking my arms out to the side. And just begin to, once again, connect with that belly breath as we allow the breath to begin to passively open the heart center and release some of the tension and tightness in the intercostal muscles in the thoracic spine. And allow this opening. It's said that backbends are the jewel of asana practice in yoga because it helps slow down the aging process and counteract that slow hunching forward that happens as we age. So this is a great counter practice to do daily and weekly. Continue breathing deeply. Let each breath begin to expand the heart center. Expanding the ribs. and expanding the mind at the same time. And now, all of us, if you're able, if your shoulders allow, for a moment, reach overhead and stretch the arms in the opposite direction, and whatever leg position you are in, now straighten the legs and reach through the heels, keeping the front ribs drawn in, belly contained, and just reaching heels and fingertips in opposite directions. And then slowly release your hands down, bend your knees, and roll to your right side, pressing into the floor to come up, and remove your blanket. Remove your blanket and just set it off to the side. And then take a moment to come onto hands and knees, set up in tabletop, and prepare for cat-cow. So using the inhale to draw the heart forward, and the exhale, the belly draws in towards the spine. Head drops, tail drops. So as we inhale, the back of the head moves towards the sacrum, sacrum towards the head. And as we exhale, forehead moves towards the pubic bone, and pubic bone towards the forehead. Keep a couple more breaths like that, oscillating between the two positions. And then we're going to continue with the cow pose on your next inhale. And we're going to use the exhale to move back into child's pose. So the spine still curves up as you transition, and the belly still draws in. Use your inhale to bend the elbows and come forward into cow pose. Draw the heart forward. Exhale, belly draws in. Send the sit bones to the heels, child's pose. Let's do that again. Maybe you even walk up onto your fingertips and then come forward, cow pose. And exhale back, child's pose. And this time we're going to just pause here for a moment, bring your palms together, and then bend at the elbows so fingertips point to the sky, or even bring the thumb side of the hand to the back of the neck so your fingertips are pointing up and back towards your hips. And then reach through the elbows to create some space in the armpit area. Release the hands down, rise up into your cow pose again, and then come upright onto your knees. Let the tailbone drop down towards the floor, and the belly draws in, contains. We use the inhale to reach to the sky, and as we exhale, hands to the sacrum, forehead to the floor, child's pose. 2 more times like that. Inhale, we lengthen the spine up, reach up. And the exhale, we come into child's pose, back of the hands to the back of the sacrum. So we're really working on lengthening the spine here and creating expansiveness in the heart center and through the shoulders. And then releasing into child's pose. This time in child's pose, release your hands to the floor into tabletop. Curl your toes under, come into cow. And then as we exhale, lift the knees, draw the belly to the thighs, and press the top of your mat away. And then lift the sit bones and begin to lift the knees as the legs move towards a straighter position. You can rock your hips from side to side to get into some of the intercostal muscles in the side ribs, maybe even turning your toes from one side to the other, swaying the hips. And then come to your dog. Again, bend the knees, belly to the thighs, look to the top of your mat, and then step, walk, or even float to the top of your mat. Your inhale lifts the heart center and lengthen through your spine, through the crown as the sit bones reach out behind you and your shoulder blades slide down towards your waist. Exhale, bow down. And maybe bending the knees here a little bit. We're just at the beginning of practice. 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen the heart up. And the exhale, belly draws in, we fold forward. 1 more time. Inhale, lengthen, reach through the crown, reach through the sit bones, shoulder blades down your back. Exhale, belly draws in, bend your knees. Rise up, reach up to the sky. Lengthen the spine, lengthen the whole body. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Release your hands down. So we're going to warm the body a little bit, just taking a pause in Mountain's Pose. Inhale, reach to the sky as you rise up on your toes. Exhale, sink the heels down, arms come down. We're going to do this a few more times. Inhale, reach up, rise up on your toes. And exhale, come down. Next time, maybe we pause at the top of our inhale with this uplifting energy as we reach up, retaining the inhale, and exhale, release down as we release the breath. Again, inhale, reach up, pause at the top of your inhale as you rise on your toes, and exhale, bring it down. Again, inhale, reach up, pause maybe a little longer this time, and then release everything down on the exhale. Beautiful. Take a moment here, spread your toes wide, and then let's begin to feel into the presence of the heart center. And we're already beginning to build light there. Use your next inhale to reach to the sky, and the exhale to fold as we move into sun salutations. The inhale breath lifts the heart center. We lengthen the spine, and we exhale, the right foot steps behind us into a lunge position. You can use your blocks here. So we lengthen the crown and the spine forward and lengthen the heel back. So I've just got one block here within my reach, but you can use 2 blocks. Use your exhale to send the hips up and back into reverse lunge, straightening the front leg. Inhale, back to our starting lunge. Exhale, reverse lunge. And then inhaling, lengthen forward, lengthen the heart, lengthen the crown. Open. Exhale into that left hamstring, press into the heel. As we inhale and come forward, we drop the back knee, bring your hands to the front knee, and then we work at dropping the tailbone into the body, containing the belly, and scissoring the hips. The right hip scissors forward, the left hip scissors back, creating some containment. And then if it's comfortable, inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands come down. Don't fall down like I just did. Step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward to your plank pose, shoulders over wrists, pause in your plank, gathering strength, and then drop the knees. Keep the lumbar curve as you lower down, knees, chin, chest. Draw the heart forward, coming into cobra. So lift your one leg and lift the other leg, lengthening through the big toe mound, and then rolling the thighs, the outer thigh towards the floor so that the pinky toe comes down to the floor. So keeping that length, pubic bone presses down. Inhale, lift the heart center into your cobra. Exhale, release down. Reposition the legs, reach through the big toe, baby toe still touching the ground. Pubic bone down. Inhale, lift up, cobra, shoulder blades away from your ears, sliding towards the waist, elbows in. Maybe you even release the hands off the floor out behind you, or bring the thumbs to point toward one another on the sacrum, fingers pointing towards the floor. Release the forehead down. Keeping the forehead on the floor, you might rock your hips from side to side to release any tension that might be building in the back. Let's bring the thumbs to the sacrum once again, and fingertips towards the floor, elbows up to the sky, drawing toward one another as we rise up in cobra. And then keeping all of that happening, release the arms out behind you. And exhale, release the forehead down. Rock the hips from side to side. Maybe bending the knees and windshield washing the knees from side to side. And when you're ready, press up and back into child's pose on an exhale. Pausing with the forehead on the floor once again, arms extended. Use your inhale to rise, tabletop. Exhale, knees lift, belly to the thighs, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, thigh to the belly, step the right foot between your hands, coming into our lunge position. Take a breath or two here, and exhale, reverse lunge. Inhale, draw the heart forward, bend the front knee. Exhale, press it back, reverse lunge, pressing into that front heel. One more time, inhale forward. And the exhale, reverse lunge. This time as we inhale forward, we drop the back knee. Bring both hands to the front knee. Draw the belly in, sink the tailbone into the body, and scissor the hips. You can keep your hands on your front knee, or inhale, lift up to the sky and lengthen through the side body. Maybe even looking up here. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Lift the back knee and step forward, coming into our forward fold. Inhale, the breath lifts the heart, lengthens the spine. Exhale, belly draws in, we fold. Inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms wide to the sky, rise up. Exhale to your heart center. Release your hands. Just take a moment's pause in mountain pose, centering your breath, centering the mind. And then let's continue. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, the heart lifts, shoulder blades down your back. And exhale, step left foot back, coming into our lunge once again, building each time we do this. Exhale, reverse lunge. Inhale to our starting position, and then drop the back knee. Inhale, reach to the sky. So just speeding up the process a little bit. Maybe you might even bend the elbows. And then release the hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank pose. Pause here. Use your exhale, drop knees, chin, chest. Drag the heart forward. Lengthen the big toes back. Roll the little toe side of the foot to the floor. Pubic bone down. Bring your thumbs to your sacrum once again to help that process. Lift the heart, elbows back. You might release your hands straight out behind you to lengthen and draw the shoulders back. Take another breath here. We're building on these back bends. Release the hands down, release the forehead down. Rock the hips from side to side. This repetition helps open the heart. Maybe you windshield washer the knees from side to side if you're feeling any tension, and then press up and back child's pose once again. Release again through the back. Inhale, lift the knees. Press the belly to the thighs and lift the hips high. Left leg floats up on an inhale. The exhale, we step it forward, coming into our lunge once again, second side. The exhale, reverse lunge, just one time this round. We inhale forward to our starting lunge and drop the back knee. Reposition the pelvis and the hips, drawing them toward one another. Inhale, reach to the sky. Option to bend the elbows as the fingertips point down to the floor behind you, lifting the elbows higher. Exhale through heart center, hands come to the floor. Lift the back knee and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow down, belly draws in. Press into the feet as you inhale, sweep wide and high, reach to the sky. Hands to your heart center. Take a moment in mountain, release the arms. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, bend the elbows, reach the elbows up and fingertips point to the floor. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the heart, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step right foot back. So we're back into our familiar lunge here, dropping the back knee. Inhale, reaching to the sky once again. Bring your palms together, point your index finger up, lengthen. Invite a little back bend. Keep the sacrum pressing into the body. Option to bend the elbows and cup the back of your head for support. That allows you to lift the elbows higher and invite a little more back bend supporting your head. Release the hands to heart center. And then we twist to our left side, catching the elbow on that left knee. Sometimes you have to reposition your knee. Option also to lift the back knee, and also option to open the arms wide, the right hand to the floor, left hand up. Release out of your twist, whichever variation you're in, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward to plank pose. Pausing, dropping the knees, chin, chest as we lower down. Hover and draw the heart forward, uncurl the toes. Press the toes down as we lengthen through the big toe. Now, option to try this variation of cobra. Bring the hands to the back of the head as though you were going to do a sit-up. And then elbows pointing forward, lift heart, lift head, reach forward with the elbows, maybe lift the feet up off the floor. And then release down. That one's a tough one, a lot of work. Hands beside your ribs. Press up and back, child's pose to release the back. And then make your way into downward facing dog. Know that you can pause in child's pose anytime you wish, if at some point this becomes too much. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it between your hands, coming into our lunge. Taking a moment's pause. Sorry, wrong leg. Right foot steps forward into your lunge. Drop the back knee. Inhale, reach to the sky. Intertwine your fingers. Point the index finger up as you lengthen up through the side body. And then same as the first side, you have the option to bring palms together, bend the elbows, reach the elbows up to the sky, and support the back of the head as you lift a little higher, invite a little more back bend. Release the hands to your heart center, this time twisting towards that front leg, your right leg catching the elbow, and possibly lifting the back knee and coming into a little bit higher lunge. Option to open the arms, reaching left fingertips to the floor, right up to the sky, and then release. Hands in front of you, step back, downward facing dog. Come back to your ujjayi if you've lost it. Bottom of your exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach to the sky. And draw into your heart center. Let's pause, let everybody catch up. Release your hands. Just take a moment to notice. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, we fold forward. Release the head down. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, step left foot back, coming into our lunge. And now we pivot that back heel down for warrior two. Windmill the arms up and come up. Extending your arms just for a moment straight out in our warrior two, and then release the thumbs to the sacrum. We've been doing this move a lot today's class as well as last class. Draw the shoulders back and down the back, and then re-extend the arms. Use your next inhale to find peaceful warrior with that left arm either on the back thigh or at the small of your back, and really use the breath to extend and create space in the intercostal muscles. And then the exhale takes you into side angle. Elbow can come to the front knee as we extend the top arm over. Inhale to come back into your warrior two position, extending the arms. And then release the hands behind you, intertwining your fingers. Roll the shoulders back. Begin to lift the heart center here. And then folding forward, humble warrior. So either that right shoulder can rest on your knee or come inside the knee and release deeper. letting the top of the head drop towards the floor, and perhaps lifting the arms to the sky, the fingers to the sky, the fists to the sky a little bit more. Use your inhale to begin to lead with the heart, come all the way up. Release the hands into Warrior Two, and then windmill down, step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Use your next inhale to come forward to plank as we drop the knees for knees, chin, chest, or chaturanga if you prefer. And then coming down to the belly, extending the legs long once again. Thumbs to the sacrum. Inhale, release up. Inhale, up. Release the hands straight out behind you. Lift the feet, lift the legs, lift the heart. Reach through your crown, shoulder blades toward one another. And the exhale breath, we release the forehead down. Again, option to rock your hips to release if that feels good for you. And then hands alongside, press back, child's pose. So again, that repetition is building the opening in the spine. And as we build the opening in the spine, we build opening and light and prana in the heart center. Inhale, left leg steps forward, moving to our second side. Pivot the back heel down, windmill the arms up for Warrior Two on our second side. Extending the arms initially, reaching out, and then release the thumbs to the sacrum, lifting the heart. Re-extend the arms into Warrior Two. Finding your breath, and then using your next inhale to find peaceful warrior. Taking your option with that right arm, either on the thigh or the small of the back. The exhale breath takes us into side angle. Rolling those right side ribs up to the sky, perhaps looking to the sky. And again, really nice stretch on that right side body. Use your next inhale to find your Warrior Two once again. And then releasing the hands behind your back to intertwine the fingers, roll the shoulders back. Take an inhale, and as we exhale, we fold. That left shoulder might rest on that thigh, or bring the shoulder inside the knee and release the top of the head towards the floor a little bit further. Lifting the hands away from the sacrum, whatever is available to you today. And then use your inhale breath to rise up into your Warrior Two. Turn both feet parallel to the long side of your mat. Thumbs to your sacrum once again. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine up, 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 up as you invite a back bend. And the exhale, we fold forward. And as we fold, release the hands to grasp the big toes. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, refold, drawing the shoulder blades up towards the sacrum, away from the floor, elbows out to the side. And you can also be holding the calves or the ankles if toes are not available to you. And then slowly release the hands straight out in front of you as though you were doing a really wide-legged downward facing dog. And lengthening through the side body here. All through the waist, through the ribs, through the shoulders, through the arms, through the neck. And then walk your hands back. Release your hands to the waist and rise all the way up. Take a pause here. And then turn your left toes to the top of your mat. Windmill the hands down and step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhaling forward to plank pose. The exhale, we lower. You might do knees, chin, chest, or you might do chaturanga, coming down to the belly for a belly back bend. Again, releasing the feet, reach through the big toes. pinky toes down on the mat, pubic bone pressing down. Release the arms up and back, bending the knees. If you can't reach the ankles for bow pose, you can use your strap or come into Salabhasana or Superman pose. Otherwise, moving into bow, we're not going to stay long. As we open the heart, draw the shoulders back, and kick the ankles into the hands. On your next exhale, release down. Hands alongside your ribs. Take a breath with forehead down, and then option to press up and back into upward facing dog. And working through the belly, lifting through the belly, find your way back on an exhale, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat at the bottom of the exhale. The inhale lifts the heart. The exhale, belly draws in. We fold. And inhale, press into the floor, rise up, reach to the sky, draw into your heart center. Release the arms. Pause here. Now from here, grab your strap. And we want a fairly wide loop. If you need to pause while you find your loop length, you can pause the recording. We're going to step the right foot back, and we're going to loop the loop onto the raised heel of that back foot. So here's where you know if you need to pause to readjust. I'm going to reach both hands back to my looped strap. And you can bend that back knee to start with as you find your hand spacing onto what you're going to grab. And then we roll the shoulders back. Press the heel into the strap as though you're trying to press your heel down to the earth. And then we're lifting the heart up and forward. So the heel and the heart are moving in opposite directions. And the result is the shoulders are being drawn back and down. The heart center is opening. The shoulder blades move toward one another. You might bend that front knee a little more. So allow this opposition of heart center and heel to help you open. And then release, bending that back knee. Drop your strap for a moment if you wish, and come into mountain pose at the top of your mat. And just feel the effects of that uplifting energy and openness in the heart center, openness through the shoulders. Take another breath. And then let's move to second side. So left foot is back. Hook your loop on your back heel. Set up your feet for your crescent lunge. Set up your hands. And I find it helps to bend that back knee as you find your hand grip. And then as you straighten the back leg, it draws the arms back. Now we begin that process of opposition, of pressing the back heel down into the strap, down towards earth. And the opposition of lifting the heart up, especially with every inhale. And if you want to add a breath retention at the top of your inhale, go ahead and do that, but do so mindfully. Keep pressing the heel down as the heart lifts, the spine lengthens up. Shoulder blades toward one another, shoulders down, arms back. And then softly bend the back knee, release the strap, step to the top of your mat, and your strap off to the side for now. And again, take a moment for present moment awareness in mountain pose at the top of your mat. Feel the buoyancy, the light, the expansion in your heart center. This expansion of the heart center contributes to joy and our ability to hug more. Okay, so from here, we're going to come into a little balance pose. So if you want to move to a wall, we're going to move into dancer's pose with all this openness of the shoulders here. So you can either have your left shoulder up against the wall or be near the wall so that you can use your hand if you need to, Roll that right arm open so the eye of the elbow is open and your thumb points behind you like you're hitchhiking. Bring the foot into the hand, knees parallel, and then begin to kick the foot back as you rock forward, and possibly extend that left hand straight out in front of you into dancer's pose. And don't let it be static, let it be something that continues to unfold. And then release gracefully out of it, not the way I just did. Pause in mountain pose, feel the effect. And then again, if you're using the wall, just turn to face the other direction. So now your right shoulder is towards the wall. And we roll that left hand open, thumb points behind us, eye of the elbows open, ankle or foot into the hand, knees parallel, knees are lined up here. And then we start, either your right hand can be on your heart center as you begin to rock forward and kick open, or reach that right hand straight in front of you and continue opening, creating little micro adjustments in your dancer's pose. And then slowly and gracefully come back up, hands to heart center, and release into mountain pose. Again, present moment awareness. Feeling the effects. Taking another breath here. And then go ahead and come back to the top of your mat into mountain pose. Inhale, Ujjayi breath up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Belly draws in. Inhale, heart lengthen. Step the right foot back into our lunge. And then gather your energy from the earth, and like the crescent moon that's rising out there, rise up with strength to reach to the sky in crescent moon pose. Maybe you bend that back knee a little bit and then repress to straight. Release your hands to the sacrum, thumbs right into that sacrum, fingertips pointing forward, elbows back, and then once you have the arm position, release your hands out behind you, just like we did with the strap last week, except this time we're doing it without the strap, but creating that same action. And then we begin to shift forward for warrior three. Now that upward movement, that upward energy of the arms and the heart can help us balance in our warrior three. Bend the front knee, release the back foot back. Reach to the sky, crescent lunge. And then exhale, hands come down. Step back, downward facing dog. Bring that foot up to three-legged dog. And exhale, release it down. Inhale, right leg reaches up to the sky. Step that foot forward up between your hands. And again, gathering that energy from the strength of the legs as we rise slowly, building our strength, building our pose. And inhale, reach to the sky. Bend the back knee a little if you need to, and then re-straighten. And then release, thumbs to the sacrum, fingertips pointing forward, elbows back. Shoulders down away from your ears. And then release the hands straight out behind you, just as though we had that strap. Pulling the arms back once again, lifting the heart with each inhale, and then begin to shift forward for warrior three. Keep that uplifting energy of the arms and the heart happening here. If you fall out of it, that's okay. Just come back into it. Find your stability, maybe a tiny micro bend in that front knee. And then bend the knee a lot, bring the back foot down, reach to the sky, crescent lunge. Hands come down, step back, downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths in down dog, and then drop your knees down, come down into child's pose. You also have the option to take a little flow and meet us back in child's pose if you choose to do so. So as we all meet in child's pose, we're going to just come upright for a moment, sitting on the knees. And then we're going to come into King Arthur. So it's a little like we did last week by reaching the hands back towards our back leg. But today we're going to come to the wall. So hopefully you all have a wall that you can get to. And you don't necessarily have to move your mat if you don't. But a blanket can be really handy to place under your knee. So place your blanket right up against the wall. Your knee is close to the wall as you can get it, and the shin and the foot pointing up to the ceiling on that back wall as well. I'm going to bend over so you can see where my foot is behind me. So the whole shin and knee is up against the wall, as well as the top of your foot. So the front foot or the front leg is 90 degrees. So the ankle is right under the knee, and it's forming a 90 degree. And I know you can't see it from the side here, but you have options. You might have your hands down on the floor. You might have your hands on your front knee. Some of you might even be able to get your back up against the wall. And if that feels easy for you, you can also reach up to the sky with your arms against the wall. But keep dropping the tailbone down towards the floor. Belly and front ribs contained, so we're not creating a big lumbar curve, just a natural curve. And find the arm position that works for you. For me, I'm feeling pretty tight right now, so I've got my hands on my front knee. And then you can go ahead and release down. We're going to switch sides and come both knees down for a moment, both hands down, and then left knee right up against the wall. And you can see my shin's up against the wall, the top of my foot's against the wall. Now the right foot forms a 90-degree angle in front of me for support. Hands can be on the floor or hands can be on the front knee. And then you're gradually working towards that upright position. And one side's going to be tighter than the other. And again, you can have both hands on that front knee as I am. You can have your back against the wall. You can even reach both arms up to the ceiling against the wall, depending on how open you are in the hip flexors and your quadricep muscles. Breathing this can be really intense for a lot of us. And then let's go ahead and release down out of that side. And so from here, I'm going to give you two options, well, three options really. You can do a second round on each side of King Arthur that we just did. Or you can come into hero pose, which we did last week. You can sit on a block, you can sit on a bolster. I'm going to demonstrate with my meditation cushion. So it's like you're sitting on your heels, but your heels are just outside of your hips, and roll your calves out. Hands behind you. And then we keep lifting up the sit bones and reorientating the tailbone towards the front of the room, and the pubic bone up towards the back of the room. And you can keep, as you find your position of how far back you're going to go today, keep reorientating the pelvis, tailbone forward. So that's option number 2. And then option number 3, I don't know how many of you are going to take this one, but I'm going to give you the option to play with this as well. Coming back to the wall. So we're in a down dog position. And so this is like coming into standing splits. Except I've got my right leg straightened up against the wall. So similar to King Arthur that we originally did with the knee bent, knee on the floor, but now I'm sliding it up the wall. And then if you're doing this variation or the first King Arthur variation, you're going to want to move to second side. So you can see I can even play with lifting my foot that's down on the floor and re-extending my leg up towards the ceiling, sliding it up the wall, and then walking it out into down dog. So I've given you 3 options: a second round of King Arthur at the wall with knee bent, hero pose on a block or a meditation cushion, or the weird thing that I just did at the wall that I don't remember the name of it. You choose what you want to do for these next few moments to continue opening in the front body. And if you want to continue with either of those a little longer, just pause the video. Otherwise, we're coming to the knees and moving into child's pose. And then inhaling to reach to the sky, lengthen as we rise up on the knees. And exhale, child's pose. Let's do that one more time, just creating that length in the spine. And this time staying upright, thumbs come to the sacrum. We've been doing this a lot with the hands to help guide the tailbone down and draw the belly in and up and the heart center in and up. So we're just going to do a little mini camel pose here. We're not going to go too far. We're just working all the proper techniques of lifting the heart, drawing the tailbone down and into the body, keeping the front ribs contained. And then just release into child's pose or sit bones to the heels. I like child's pose, and you can also bring your hands to the sacrum as you pause here. So we're going to do another round. So inhaling, reaching to the sky as you rise up on your knees. Hands to your heart center. And this time I'm bringing a block between my ankles to help keep shins and ankles in line. You can also place a block, a second block, possibly between your thighs to help create a strong foundation for your camel. Or you can also bring a prop onto the back of your calves and to your heels like a bolster. And let's start the same way, inhaling, reaching up, releasing thumbs to the sacrum, drawing the belly in, drawing the sacrum down into the body and tailbone down. And then begin lifting the heart. And just keep your nose parallel to the ceiling for now. And keep lengthening the heart up, up, up. And then maybe you might release the hands back towards your prop or your bolster or your meditation cushion. And try to create that curve through the whole spine, including the neck. So just a gentle curve. And then let's come back up. Got one more round to go. Release hips to your cushion, your bolster, the floor, your heels. Or come into child's pose. So we're building again with repetition. You'll find each time gets easier. This will be our last round. Taking a few breaths. Catching up here. And then again, let's rise up onto our knees. This is our final round. And again, you can do any of the first variations that we did, bringing thumbs to the sacrum, elbows back, rolling the shoulders open, guiding that tailbone down and the sacrum in, lifting the heart, containing the belly. Begin to invite your back bend, lengthening the spine, lifting the heart. Maybe releasing your hands to your heels, to your prop. And try not to crank your neck back. You might even draw your chin back up a little bit so that you don't create overextension of the neck. And then bring hands to your heart center and come back upright, bringing awareness to the heart. And then releasing sit bones to heels or going right into child's pose to release. I like to have my hands on my sacrum after the back bends. It just feels really nice. You can have your hands alongside your shins as well, allowing an unwinding of that back bend. Now from child's pose, We're going to make our way onto our back and grab that strap or belt that we used earlier in the practice as you lie down. We're going to help to reset or lengthen the lumbar spine and reset the sacrum. But just pause on your back with knees bent here with your strap in reach. Feel all the sensations and energy and prana that we created through your back bends. Staying connected to your breath. You can probably feel the energy moving through your body. Okay, let's bring the strap, bend your knee and draw the right foot towards you. Place your strap over the sole of that foot. And then bring both ends of the strap into your opposite arm. So I'm holding with my left hand and taking the right thumb and catching it right into the crease of that right leg, the hip crease, and pressing the thigh, the leg, the hip crease away from you. At the same time, you're pulling the foot towards you or down towards the floor. So we're moving in opposite directions here, down and out and away. And you'll feel almost a lengthening of the lower back as you press that thigh and that hip away from you. And then since we're in this position, let's grab the strap with the right hand and allow that leg to open up to the right. Try to keep that left hip grounded. And then just switch it up into the other side. So coming into a twist. And then back to center. Let's come back into that same maneuver, pressing that thigh away with a thumb in the hip crease. And then release your strap. Bring both hands to the back of the thigh. Intertwine your fingers and press the thigh into the hands. And again, that just helps to reset the sacrum and the lumbar. Maybe you rock your hips a little bit. And now let's move to second side. So strap is on left foot and in your right hand. Left thumb presses into the hip crease and pushes the thigh, that leg bone, away from you, creating length in the lumbar. At the same time, you're drawing the strap into the foot. Let's release the strap into the right hand. Open that leg up as you extend your right arm away from that foot. And come back to center. Let's go over to the other side. Releasing a little bit more. And now as we come back to center, hook that thumb, press the thigh away in the hip crease. Same way we started. And then release, intertwine your fingers behind the thigh and press the thigh actively into your hands and resist with your hands. And again, feel that sensation of the low back into your mat. Go ahead and release the strap. Bend both knees and just take a moment's pause here. Releasing everything. Softening your breath. One more breath here. And then let's draw the knees in towards the belly. Give yourself a hug and rock from side to side. Rock way over. And then this next time as we rock over to the left, release your knees down to the left side and open your arms wide, coming into a spinal twist. Let this be a passive twist today. Letting your breath soften, your eyes close. An unwinding of the spine. And then your next inhale, come back to center. Wrap your arms around, rock from side to side, and this time we release the knees over to the right side as we extend our arms wide. And just begin that softening process of releasing, of surrender. And then coming back to center, last time, give yourself a hug, a little rock. Release the soles of the feet down. And then go ahead and extend your legs long and wide. You might want socks, sweater, blanket, as we begin to release down for our Shavasana. And then take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, allow the body to surrender a little bit more. And do that one more time, a nice big inhale. Feeling that expansion and ease of breath in the heart center. And as you exhale, feel your body surrender and melt back into earth a little bit more. Then we begin to allow this stillness. Allow this opportunity as the body stills for the mind to begin to still. And as the mind begins to still, we're able to connect or make that connection between the mind and the heart and the mind. That essence of you that is at your center can begin to shine. Stay here in this stillness for the next few moments until I guide you back up and out. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your breath, back to your body as you invite gentle movements. And one leg at a time, bending the knees and the soles of the feet come to the floor. You might take this opportunity also to reach overhead to rouse the body, or you might not. ready, slowly roll to your right side into fetal position and pause here, soaking up the essence of that stillness, that feeling of relaxation as you press into the floor and rise up to a seat. With eyes softly focused, make your way onto your meditation seat, be it a cushion, a block, a bolster, or leaning up against the wall. But take a seat that allows you to have a nice, tall, upright spine. And allow the body to reposition, to resettle here. And then bring your middle finger of your right hand back to your heart center as we recenter and bring that awareness back to our essence. And then release the palms, fingers touching one another, just as we started, hands to the outside of the head. And then slowly exhale, draw palms to center in front of your forehead, gathering and focusing. And slowly exhale, hands to your heart center. And then release your hands down to your thighs. You can bring your index finger and thumb to touch here. As you sit with a tall, straight spine, begin to develop your Ujjayi breath, to develop focus, with an aim of a 6-count inhale and 6-count exhale. Allowing the breath to begin to focus the mind. Welcome anything that arises without resisting or trying to fix it. Just let it be part of your current experience. It's not the whole thing. And just come back to your Ujjayi breath. And as you sit, be aware that there is a piece of you, your essence, that is aware of you sitting. Imagine that you could just let that inner piece of you, that part of you that can just observe, just watching you sit and meditate. That peaceful, steady, calm part of you that's watching you have these thoughts, have these feelings, and watching you watch your breath. Now imagine that you could let that inner essence of you that can just observe begin to move, almost hover behind you, and observe you from behind, just watching you sit and meditate. And invite that part of you that is watching to move back and up, as though it could watch you from the ceiling, a perspective from above. There is no judgment in this essence of you as it watches. That is the ego self that judges. Now imagine that this essence of you, this piece of you, could hover even higher above the roof of the building in which you sit. Still seeing you and seeing others that may be in the building. Watching you watch your breath flowing in and flowing out. Now imagine this piece of you pulls even further, higher, seeing many roofs and many individuals, and still seeing you sit and watch your breath. This piece pulls even further, higher, and sees the whole province, this country, still seeing you, but becoming smaller. This higher piece of you takes in everything else as well. Now this essence of you pulls back even further to the edge of the Earth's atmosphere, taking in the whole planet and the many people on this planet. Still seeing you and everyone else. And now pulling back even more into outer space, still aware of where you are, but now taking in everything else. Seeing different planets, different stars, different galaxies. The further you pull up, the more you start to merge with supreme consciousness that doesn't have form or personality. Just this great space of all-knowing. And here, this essence of you begins to probe the question, who am I? Without a body, without my thoughts, who am I? Without opinions, without lists of things to do, without a resume and accomplishments, who am I? What am I? Begin to open yourself to the possibility of receiving some answers from this space of unconditional loving source. Without a body, who am I? Without my relationships, who am I? What am I? Without my history, my memories, my experiences, who am I? Am I male or female or both or neither? Sincerely remain open to whatever answer arises, if an answer arises. And if an answer arises, ask more. Who is that? What is that? Without a body, without my thoughts, who am I? Without my perspective, letting go of my way of thinking, who am I? Allow yourself to sit in this wondering and see if you can be comfortable not getting a full answer. Can you live the question, who am I really? What am I really? Keeping this new insight, bringing it with you, let your essence begin to move closer to the earth. See the globe. See the terrain. See the people from this new perspective. Move your essence toward your country, your province, and see things with a slightly different perspective with this new insight. Move your essence to hover above your building and let it drop through the roof and hover in the room in which you are still sitting and meditating. Now the essence of you hovers right behind you. And if you are judging yourself, go back to that piece of you that has no judgment. And with your essence right behind you, let it move through that space of the shoulder blades and into your heart. Inhaling into the heart and tapping into this new insight. Expanding everywhere as you inhale and falling deeper into the heart and into your essence. In your heart, you receive this new perspective, even if it is a small flicker. Inhaling, let the breath travel down to the base of which you are sitting upon. And as you exhale, allow the breath to travel through your sit bones, through your pubic bone, through your sacrum, and down into the earth. Inhaling, let the breath travel down. And as you exhale, allow it to travel down through your legs, your feet, and into the earth. One more time like that. Inhaling deep down into the pelvis. And the exhale down through the legs and into the earth. And begin to invite your Ujjayi breath back to help you embody your physical form. And then rub your hands together and begin to create some heat. Keep rubbing faster, creating warmth. And then place your hands over your belly center without comment on shape or size. Breathe energy from the hands into the belly and from the belly into the hands. And then bring your hands to your heart center. And we will close our practice with one round of Om. Taking a deep inhale. Om. eyes cast towards the floor. Allow your eyes to flicker open, coming back into your space. Namaste. So this meditation was meant to allow us to see ourselves from a different, bigger perspective, and allow the ego part of ourselves to shrink a little bit, and for us to realize that there is something bigger at play, and the largeness of what that might be. And so if you're participating in our self-inquiry, you can grab your journal and you can write down your self-inquiry question. And you can go ahead and sit for a few minutes and write. I'm going to have you consider a situation that you were in that was, it's easy for us to think of this in an uplifting situation about what comes forth from us in that situation. But I'm going to ask you to consider a situation that was difficult, and you created the best outcome possible given the situation that you were in. And it could be a small, difficult situation or a bigger situation. And you can just do this either as a poem, which is really fun because then you're not worried about complete sentences, or just write words and phrases as they come to you of the best parts of you that came forth as you maneuvered through whatever your difficult situation that you're thinking of was. And again, just think of words. So take a few moments to think of a particular situation, and then just start letting things flow, how you dealt with it and what came forth about you out of that situation. And these are positive things we're looking at, not that you fell apart, but more maybe you found strength, or maybe you found leadership, or maybe you found creativity, or maybe you found selflessness or nurturance, or something that perhaps you didn't know you had in you until you were faced in this situation, and found qualities within yourself that came to the surface. So have some fun with that. And next week, we're going to bring everything together. And so I look forward to seeing you then. Namaste.